I'm going to start sharing my screen because it should be a little bit quicker that way. And we're going to create a document called STEM Car Challenge. Now, some of you will have done this car back in year 8, hopefully. And I did this quite successfully yesterday with a different group. So please, if you are struggling, because I can't see you very well, I've got the Teams chat on. Either put something on Teams chat or just shout out. Say, sir, how did you do that again? Or, sir, I'm stuck. I'm absolutely fine with helping you guys, but I can't see your screens, so I don't know how you're getting on. So just shout at me and I'll stop and go through it. Hope that makes sense. All right, we'll start off then. Before I'm doing anything, I'm just going to, I clicked Part Studio 1. I'm going to click at the bottom corner here, rename. And I call it car body. Okay, simple as that. I just right click the tab at the bottom, rename, called it car body. Now we answered our own question earlier. Where do we want to draw? It was on the front plane. And then I click sketch. As always, we view on the front. And the car body is going to be easiest to draw as a rectangle. Now, it doesn't really matter where you drop the rectangle, but I've always found it a bit easier if I kind of snap it slightly to the center. So I'm on that center plane line, I click and I drag. Again, it doesn't really matter if you have a center rectangle or a corner rectangle, it doesn't really matter. Draw the rectangle roughly the right size, and now I've got to put my dimensions in. Now, because I've got my drawing, in fact, I've got my drawing in front of me, I know that the length of it needs to be 150. I look at my quick sketch and the height of it needs to be 50. Enter. I'm going to go straight into extrude, view it in 3D. I'm going to extrude a depth of 50, enter. But today, just to make life a little bit more interesting, I'm going to make it symmetric. So it's right through the middle of it. And tick. So far, this should be pretty plain sailing. So on the front. Yep. I'll just go through this again and I'll show you again. So on the front, sketch a rectangle 150 by 50, extrude it by 50. To get it symmetric, I just, where it says blind, I just click on the down arrow, show symmetric. Simple as that. You have to change dimensions, it all does it for you. Tick. Now, does this look very car-like, gents? No. So we're going to make it look more car-like. No. Hopefully everyone's with me on this point. I'll just double check before we move on.
Yeah.
All good.
What dimensions? My computer
What?
shut off, so I missed all of that.
Okay, I'll just drag that down for you. It's on the OneNote if you get stuck, hence the sharing of it. 150 long, 50 high. Tick. And if I view it in trimetric, hopefully that already starts looking like the kind of car that I drew. It's in the right kind of format, the right proportions. And if it was in the wrong proportions, I'd drawn it tall. I can change it really easily, can't I? Because we haven't done much to the CAD yet. So we're just checking it looks right before we get cracking. Okay, let's double click sketch 1. Let's view on the front. So we're back into that original sketch. We're now going to choose the spline tool. We haven't used this one yet. So where's the spline tool? You've got line, rectangle, circle, then you've got a point arc, polygon thing, spline. Mine's above my sketch 1 with a green tick, red cross. How do you get that back up? So I double click sketch 1, spline tool. Okay. On the right hand side, somewhere either middle or thereabouts, we may as well do middle because then we know it will work. You can see mine snaps to the center line. You see that? It's snapping. I'm going to click once, I drag. I'm going to click again here and again here and again here. And about a third of the way along, I'm going to join it to the top line. Double click to finish. I'll do that again for you. Spline tool, right hand line, snap to center. You don't have to, you could do it lower, but I know it'll work if you snap to center. Click a few times and join it to the top, about a third of the way from the edge. If you want, you should, I think you need to unclick spline, so I need to deselect it. You should now, yeah, be able to move those tools. Why did you unclick spline tool, sir? Because if I leave it on and I click and try and move them, a new line appears. So to stop that, you can either press escape or click on the spline tool. And just adjust these points so you're happy with how it looks. Sometimes you can move them happily, sometimes you can't. Right, I'm happy with that. There's my car profile. There are now 2 steps, guys. Step 1, if we were in SolidWorks, I would probably use the scissors tool to trim these 2 lines. But we're going to do it a Mr. Wendes way. He taught me this because, like I said, there's lots of ways of doing the same thing in CAD. So we're going to leave it like that. We're going to click tick. And that's exactly what I thought would happen. Nothing. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back to extrude, double click it. And you can view
something for me.
Fine, that's fine. You can still do this, double click extrude. And now you can select which bit you want to extrude. At the moment, it's got both bits for me extruding. So I'm going to click in the top bit and it stops it. I can click the bottom bit and it stops it. Click the top bit, just does that bit. Click the top bit. So you can just kind of click the bits you want. When you've got just the bottom bit, we're not going to change anything else. Tick to finish. There is my car. Now you can see your car. I might want to edit it ever so slightly, but we're not looking for the world's best car today. We're just looking for the idea, the concept behind it. I might have it up there. I'm not quite sure my line's not so good. I could always redraw that spline. Don't worry if your car's not mega cool. It really doesn't matter. There we go. Right, there's Mr. Seal's car. Is there anything missing on this car, do you think, at the moment? The car body?
Maybe holes for the axles.
Lovely, let's draw them then. So on that front face, we click and sketch. I could draw it on the front, but I like drawing it on the front face. Sketch. View on the front. A circle, because holes need to be circular. And draw a circle. There's lots of clever ways where I could mirror this and all that. It's just not worth it. It's much quicker just to draw 2 circles. They're both going to be 10. Didn't mention this one, so make that one 10. I'm going to click on the center, the start point, and the edge. Click. Do that 10. To there. 10. That's it, really, guys. So 10 mil hole, 10 mil from the edges. Click in the center bit. Click there. 10 mil. Enter. So 2 10 mil circles. 10 mil from up, 10 mil in.
So you cut out for me. Can you repeat that?
Yep. So we're going to draw a 10 mil circle each end of the car for the 2 axle holes. And then we use the dimension tool. And I click on the center of the circle. You can see the dot, the start point. And from the center of the circle to the edge of the car, it's 10 mil in. So 10 mil from the side, 10 mil from the bottom. You can see there's dimensions on my screen, I hope. Is that okay, guys? That work for you guys so far? If you don't shout at me, I'm assuming you're good. I'm going to now click extrude. And I'm going to view in 3D so I can see what's happening. All right, now this doesn't look right, does it? This looks like pegs coming out the car. I don't want that. This phone's doing my head in today. It's always going off in the lesson, so I've switched that off now. Right. So we're going to remove. And I just want you to watch for the second. So you can see here, remove. The default has gone to 25 mil. So we're going to make it 50 mil, blind, remove, tick. You should have some holes going through it. You see those? Yeah.
So can you just do through all?
Ah, this is what I'm just about to show you. So I chose a blind hole set at a specific depth. And that depth was the same depth as the width of the extrusion that I made. For some weird reason, my boss says to me, actually, make the car a bit wider. I don't want you to do this, I just want you to watch. So I can easily go into extrude 1, I make it a bit wider, 55, tick. Still got that hole, but look, it doesn't go all the way through now. So now I've got to go, remember to go back to my blind depth and make that 55 as well. That's a bit annoying, isn't it? So you were right, I think it was Danny, or was it, or Daniel? I can't remember. So rather than say blind, I'm going to say through all, because I know this hole, no matter what, needs to go all the way through the car body. It's got to, because it's an axle hole. So we just click through all. You'll notice it doesn't say how far through because it's going through everything. Click tick. So there's my hole again. And now if I was to change the width of the car, let's make it stupid. 200. Enter, tick. That hole still goes through. Okay, so there's the benefit of the through all feature. So for you guys now, can you go back to extrude 2, make sure you change it to through all and click tick. One car body. Any problems there for this particular moment?
So for the second circle, it won't let me remove it.
The second circle?
Or the one at the front.
They should be going through at the same time.
Um,
If it's just one sketch. Have you not selected them? Maybe when you go to extrude 2, make sure you've clicked on that circle. If you don't, if you deselect it, it might come out.
oh, okay, yeah, I've done it now.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. At the bottom left of the screen, you can see a plus icon. We're going to insert new element, it's called. Create Part Studio. Mine says Part Studio 1. I'm going to rename that Wheel. Now you guys should be able to do this quite happily. On the front, sketch, view on the front, circle. How big's my circle? Look at my drawing. MDF wheel, diameter 60 mil. So I click 60, enter. I need a hole for the axle to go through. Let's put a hole in the middle, 10 mil, enter. So 2 holes on the front plane, 10 for the axle, 60 for the wheel. Extrude. This is where it gets interesting. Now, good CAD means a good knowledge of materials, and I said it's going to be made of MDF. And I know that in order for it to be made of MDF, we have some standard sizes, and it comes in 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. It's kind of odd numbers. So I'm going to choose, because it's just a lightweight car, 3 mil extrusion. Tick. And that's my wheel done, guys. That's it. Literally, that's it. So I'll do that again. I've got my car body. There's my body. My wheel was a 60mm circle, and I had a 10mm hole in it, 3mm extrusion. Everyone happy with that?
So do you extrude the sketch one first before removing it?
You can do it either way. I can change it if you want. If I delete that like that, so I can extrude the wheel. There's my wheel. Oh, okay, I need to. Well, there's lots of ways. I could either click on the face and draw a circle to push the axle through. That would work. Or you can just go into sketch one and edit sketch one. It's such a simple drawing. You don't need to worry too much. So make that 10. Update it. It'll do it for you. How many wheels do I need to draw, guys?
4.
Nope.
1.
One wheel. This is the
One wheel,
great
you can-
benefit of doing an assembly. I draw one wheel and I bring it into the drawing 4 times. So I'm actually saving you work. Done the wheel. Let's do a new drawing. Create part studio. Let's rename that drawing the axle. There we go. There's the axle. We'll keep the location the same. So on the front again, sketch. This one's even easier. View on the front, a circle, 10. And then extrude it. How far do we extrude it?
Will it be like the total length, the gap, and then a little extra?
56.
There you go. So we got a 50mm body. We've got 3mm either side for the wheels. So bare minimum is 56. But what happens if the wheel touches the body? What do you think will happen?
Friction. So remove.
Friction. So why don't we make it like
60?
60? There you go. That gives us a little bit of leeway, doesn't it? So we go 60. You can make it blind. You can make it symmetric. It makes absolutely no difference. Axle. It's the easiest thing you're going to draw today, isn't it? Everyone good so far? One axle, one wheel, one body. Everyone with me?
So, but surely if it's like the exact same hole size as the car, it's gonna like have friction.
Wonderful. I like that. Why don't we change our hole size then?
We'll
Let's
make
go
it
back
like
into sketch
12.
1. Was it sketch 1? No, it was sketch 2, wasn't it? You don't have to do this if you want. You can make it 10.5. You can make it 11 if you want. 10.5. There we go. Not too big. I'll let it rattle. There you go. Updated. That was nice and quick, wasn't it? Rather than having to rub it all out and start all over again. Into assembly 1. Just watch my screen for a second and I'll show you the problems or pros and cons. Insert car body. Click. Insert wheel. Click. Insert wheel. Click. Insert wheel. Click. Insert wheel. Click. Insert axle. Click. Insert axle. Click. Tick to done. Now get that all to line up. Whew, it's a bit of a mess, isn't it? So let's just get rid of that. Let's do it my way. You can see I can just drag the tabs along. I always like assemblies on the far end. So this time we're going to insert an axle, please. Insert a wheel. Click on wheel and you just either drag into space, click, insert wheel. So 2 wheels, 1 axle. Click tick to finish. 2 wheels, 1 axle. Any problems doing that, gents?
So my axle won't come in as the 3D version.
Okay, go back to your axle, make sure you extruded it. Make sure it looks extruded in your drawing. That's sorted?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so guys, this is a bit where you need to concentrate. This is, in my eyes, one of the harder bits in Onshape. It's not overly hard, it's just something that I still struggle a little bit to get to grips with. And part of it is due to the internet and lag. So, to get these bits together, there are two fundamental options. Option one, I think I explained to start with. You can view on each kind of viewpoint, and you can line things up and get them to kind of moon. You click on one, you view that way, then you change the viewpoint that way, right, and you can drag it like this and get it to look that way, and drag it like that and get it to look that way, and then view it from the top, and you kind of get something that looks roughly right. That's the cheaty way. It never really works, but that's the cheaty way. Option two is the right way. So watch this, gents. With nothing selected, I'm going to click on, and listen carefully, cylindrical mate. Not slider, not revolute, on cylindrical mate. As you can imagine, it's looking for a cylinder. So let's find the outside of the cylinder. So I move my mouse to the outside of the axle. You can see it glows orange. I click once, and it should then just have the outside, the cylinder bit of the axle selected. I now need to tell it what to join to. So I'm going to go to the wheel, and I'm going to very carefully move my mouse. I might need to zoom in to the inside of that wheel. I might need to move it around a few times. Now, if you're watching my screen, you can see as I come in, it's clicking on the edge, the far edge. That's not right. That's the inside edge. That's not right. There it is. So now I can see the inside of the wheel, if you like, the kind of cylinder bit. I click that once, and the shaft jumps to it. I then click tick. Cylindrical is still a feature. So I can either stop it if I finished, or I can carry on. I'm going to carry on. So I'm going to do the same on the other one. So the outside of the shaft to the inside of the wheel. Now here, you think, oh, it's gone wrong. It's jumped away. Just ignore it. Don't worry too much about it. Click tick, and you can see it sorts itself out. Click the close button to finish. You should now have two wheels that can move up and down on the cylinder. If I revolve it around, but they can't come off the cylinder. So they're only going to slide up and down the cylinder. This is quite useful for you. If you want to animate something or see how something's going to move or interact, you can kind of get this to work. The next stage is for us to get that wheel to sit right where we want it. Before I do that, are there any problems with the mates? I can go through that again if I need to. Okay. Everyone's happy, then I'll keep going. Your mates at the moment, guys, should be in light grey. If you've got a red mate, it means something's gone wrong. Right-click it and delete and try again. I'll go through it one last time. Cylindrical mate. Click on the bit you want. Click on the other bit you want. Just got to be generally the inside. I wouldn't recommend going on an edge. Edge-to-edge mating is horrible generally. Don't do it. And click tick to finish. All right, next thing we want is a planar mate. This is the most common mate that you guys will probably use. So cylindrical and planar, the only two you'll regularly use, I would say. So planar mate, click on it first. What do you want to mate? The end of the wheel to the end of the shaft. Tick. Go to the other end. The end of the wheel to the end of the shaft. Tick. And that should get it to work. Now then, I'm going to undo mine because there was something I didn't explain to you. So I'm just going to delete one of the mates. I'm going to redo it and watch this. So if I zoom in, when I go to the end of that shaft in particular, the edge highlights in bold. So when I go to it, the edge is bold. If I keep moving slightly, it goes faint, and that's the face. So a faint line is a face, a bold line is the edge. I need to make sure it's the face, the thinner line. I select. Sometimes you click and nothing happens. That's just lag in the system. It's a bit annoying. Then you can click tick to finish. You should now have a wheel and an axle. You can close that. Rename your assembly as axle assembly, or wheel and axle. I think I'll spell that roughly right. And now we're going to add, we've got 9 minutes, perfect, we're going to do this. Assembly. Let's rename that as final assembly. No one's shouting at me, so I'm going to keep going. Insert car body. Click. Insert. Oh, hang on a minute. Where's my assembly gone? Ah, look, it says Part Studios here. So to the right of that, it says Assemblies. Click on my Assemblies. Axle Assembly, that's what I called it. Click on that once. There it is. Stick that at the front. Click it again. Stick that at the back. Tick. Do you see how we've kind of done most of the work now because we had that sub-assembly? And now we're just going to do the same as we did before, really, guys. So we use the cylindrical mate, the axle, to the inside of the hole. That's the edge. Give it a wiggle. There, you can see that orange line going all the way through the car. Click to finish. Don't worry about the fact it's jumped out of line. Just ignore it. In it goes. Do the same on the back. Click. 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 Axles are aligned. And now I need to get them to align sideways. So the best way I've found of doing this is like this. Planar mate. Inside of the wheel to the edge of the car. Tick. Edge of the car, inside the wheel. Tick. One car with wheels. View in trimetric. Can anyone tell me any problems with this car at the moment?
The wheels on the left are scraping the side of the car.
Correct. So I need to adjust it. I gave myself leeway, but when I did my mate, I physically stuck them together. So let's move down my mate features. Right, my planar mate. That was the one that was sticking those together. I can see that. That's stuck to that. So double click it. And this time click offset. This is a bit of trial and error, I'll be honest with you. Now, if you're really good, you'll be able to see Z is going from my left to right. So I want it to be offset right to left. So I'm going to type in the offset button. I hope you can see it on my screen. It's just below the connectors. Click offset. I'm going to click -1. Enter. Click tick to finish. And you can see now the wheel is slightly off. Now, because of the length we did the axle, I can probably make that actually -2, can't I? I think that'll still work. Plus -2. Tick to finish. Have a look on the front. Does that look evenly spaced? It does, doesn't it? I can do the same on the back. Double click planar 2, offset, -2. Tick. One car.
So,
Yep.
I'm getting a problem where when I'm moving the wheels and the axle to the car, it's just moving the axle and not the wheels. Even though on my wheel
same.
assembly, everything is being like everything is mated together, so that when you move it around, they all move together. But when I'm in disassembly, they all move separately.
Okay, so let me stop share. Let me do one last thing, and then I'll come and help you. I'll do a bit of troubleshooting for 5 minutes. Okay. So I think I did this with you guys previously. If I go into car body, if I want, I can now edit that spline and tweak my car. You are more than welcome, guys, to click on a face and fillet. I think we did a bit of filleting before, didn't we? Is that right? We done some filleting with you?
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
We
No?
did.
Yes,
did.
no?
We did.
I'll do it. So
Mm.
I'm clicking on that front face. I click fillet. I don't actually like the look of that. I think that looks rubbish. So I'm going to click on that edge, that line there. I'm going to fillet that. I'm going to make it 20. Yeah, that looks a bit cooler. There we go. There's my car. I might do this edge there and that one there. Let's fillet that. Fine, I'll just do it quick. There we go. Lovely. I'm going to right click my car. Edit appearance. I'm going to make it red because cars should be red. No, I'm going to make it McLaren orange actually today. Tick. There we go. Let's go to my assembly. Yeah, I've got a nice car. Let's go into my wheel. Wheel should be dark. So edit appearance. Let's go like a nice kind of, I don't know, what's that grey kind of colour. Tick. Final assembly. There you go. Axle. You can make that, I don't know, like a, I've got some bling wheels. There we are. Just looks a bit nicer, doesn't it, than just a generic grey. All right. If you're posh, I'll do one last little thing. On my wheel, if you want to follow me really, really quickly, I'll try and do it really super quick because we're running out of time. I'm going to draw a circle here. I might draw another one actually there. I'm not going to worry about the size today. I'm going to use this circular pattern feature. Select that circle. Select that circle. It says 3 times at the top here. I'm going to make that 12. Make sure it goes all the way around. Yeah, it does. Click tick. Oh, that didn't quite work as expected. Let's go back to sketch 1. Oh, I've deleted all of it. That was bad. I overlapped a bit too much. Try again. Circular pattern that and that 12 times. Yeah, looks all right. Tick. There we go. Back into my assembly. Look, I've got a lightweight car. Let's go onto my wheel. Here's a little finishing point for you. Choose the outside rim. Choose a fillet. This makes your work look so much better. Choose a tiny fillet, 0.5 mil. Ding. Back into your assembly. Already looks a bit less kind of forced. It's got this tiny little fillet there to make it look a bit better. Do you see how, because I did an assembly, I had to do the work once and it's done it to all 4 parts? Makes my life that bit easier, doesn't it?